Hi, my name is Nora Spangler and I'm with Stellar Realty Northwest here in beautiful Bend, Oregon. I do a video every month telling you all about what is going on in the real estate market because you've got to be informed if you're thinking of buying or selling. It's really important that you know the local data, the local numbers. Those national headlines are scary. Talking all about, banks falling apart, recession, inflation, interest rates going crazy. All that information sometimes can overwhelm you. So stick with me, and today we're going to look at what happened last month, so the March numbers for the Bend real estate market. So it seems like the real estate market in Bend is slowly coming back to life. Now, I will not disagree with you. It is definitely much slower and the volume is much less than in past years. So we are definitely down in our pending and sold numbers. Our pending number this month was down about 25% from a year ago, and our sold number was down about 40% from a year ago. However, if you look just at last month or February to March, the market is starting to pick up. It's starting to wake up like any normal spring market. So we were up 8% in our pending sales. We're up 11% in our sold numbers. Even though those numbers are smaller than they have been in past years, we are starting to see sort of a normal spring market where business is picking up, and it is becoming more of a seller's market. And how I know that is because we take a look at the percentage of original sale price. That number tells us how big of a discount sellers are having to give buyers in order to sell their properties. And it was down to about 95%. So buyers were getting some good deals. That's the median number. Last month, that number, the percentage of original sale price, went all the way up to 98.3%. That was a 2 percentage point gain over February. So that shows you that our market is picking up and moving back to a little more normalcy. What it also tells me is that agents like myself, all my fellow real estate agents and sellers, have learned some lessons from the period when prices were just dropping all last summer and last winter. It just seemed like prices were falling off a cliff, and it was hard to price properties correctly to get them to sell. And everybody was just in a bit of a panic or actually had their foot on the brake, and they were not really knowing whether they were going to buy or sell or what to do. So now the market seems to be acting a little more normal. And in fact, I had a listing that never even really made it. It made it into the MLS, but it never became an active listing that you could have seen like on Zillow or wherever you look for properties, because I sold it in the coming soon status. So it sold with 0 days on market, essentially. And so that just tells you, if you price the property correctly and it's prepared and marketed correctly, homes are selling. So don't think you can't sell your home right now. You can. And both sellers and agents are starting to understand more what those elements are and how to get properties to sell in this market. What's going on with our inventory? Well, kind of crazy, but our inventory was 300 homes at the end of February and 301 homes at the end of March. So all the new homes that came on the market basically were sold, and we ended up in the same place that we started. So that tells you that there is definitely activity. And the other piece of crazy news is that in February, our days on market, meaning how long does it take to get a home under contract and sold, was 53 days. So from listing until it goes pending, 53 days. What was it last month? Crazy. It went down to only 13 days on market. That is really low for this time of year. Typically, that number starts to fall from the high point in the winter months, and it'll go down into maybe 20, 30 days on market at this time of year, and then it goes lower usually in the summer when homes sell faster. But gosh, for it to be at 13 days on market in March, when we had like one of the snowiest Marches in history. I mean, the weather didn't help and we still achieved that. So I'm just saying, if you think the market is going to crash in Bend, I'm thinking you're probably not correct in that assumption. I think it's going to pick back up and get back to a semi-normal market. So what are home prices doing here in Bend? Well, back in February of 2022, so more than a year ago, we hit the high point of $820,000 as our median home price. Since then, we've been on a crazy roller coaster ride. So they kind of have been going down as a trend, but then we've had months where it spikes again and peaks. Not to that number, but in the 700,000s for a while. And then we got down into the $600,000 range. So last month, or February, 2 months ago, that number was about $675,000 for a single family home in Bend, median price. Well, in March, guess what? Instead of dropping further, the market decided we'd sort of hit the bottom, at least for now, and that number went up. So we are now at $697,500 for our median sale price. That does not mean that every single home, sells for that price, or that you can't buy a home for less than that. You can. There's just not a lot of choice on the market right now in the lower price points. So overall, my advice for buyers and sellers. For buyers, you can do it. Get prepared. Look at your finances. Figure out what your budget is and what is affordable for you and stick to it. I never suggest people stretch beyond where they are comfortable. And the first thing you should do is either contact me if you would like to use me as your agent, or contact your lender, your favorite lender, or I can give you some names of great lenders in town. But you need to talk with a lender and really understand what all the options are and what it's going to cost you to do this. But it can be done. And hey, I still think it's better to be paying a mortgage for yourself than to pay your landlord's mortgage, which is what you're doing if you're renting. You're paying someone's mortgage. It's just whether it's yours and you're going to get some benefits from that, or you're paying someone else's mortgage, and there are benefits to renting, of course. But if you're going to stay in Bend for a while and put some roots here, I think investing in real estate is still a good idea. For sellers, yes, you can sell right now if you need to. I know you don't want to get rid of that 3% interest rate that you have, but if you have to, I've had clients who moved out of town and an investor who is selling off some properties. And so if you have to sell, it definitely can be done. I'm working with clients and we're doing it smartly, and we are getting homes sold very quickly. So it can definitely be done. You need to prepare and price your property appropriately for the current market, what's going on right now. You don't want to overprice. You want your property to look like a great deal for whatever condition it's in. You want showings and offers right away. That is the sign that you price it properly. So hey, I hope all these numbers and statistics were helpful to you. Get in touch with me. All my contact is down below if I can help you with anything. That's what I'm here for. I love what I do, and I love my beautiful town of Bend. So get in touch with me, drop a comment, give me a call, send me an email. Just get in touch somehow if you have any real estate needs in Bend, Oregon, or anywhere in Central Oregon.